Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Wittersheim, I want to start with you. Would you agree that the UAE is in violation of the UN arms embargo by providing weapons to the RSF?
So it seems like it's the worst kept diplomatic secret. When we talk to governments, including our own, under the Biden administration and throughout the Western democracies, diplomats tell us all the time, we know what they're doing. My organization continues to try to look into this from an arms perspective in what is being found in Sudan and in amongst the RSF areas, but access is completely cut off. It's cut off for food, it's cut off for humanitarian assistance. But it seems like everybody who could stop the UAE, including the UN, who has noted their involvement in their panel of experts reporting, knows their involvement. So it's like this strange circle of not fully addressing the matter. And when you are watching mass atrocities and genocides unfold, the number one thing that and it's been part of my work to study this and look at this, the number one thing you must do is you must cut off the resources for the people who are committing the mass atrocities. And that is money, that is arms, and it is people. So we were very encouraged to see the sanctions that were announced yesterday by the Trump administration, or maybe it was the day before, on the Colombian companies that are sending mercenaries. This is a start. It's a good start. But you have to cut off all the resources in order to stop the killing. It actually is that simple. It's simple to say and simple to see the through line. It's not simple to do, apparently.
Thank you. And what do you think it would take for the UAE to stop arming the RSF, or at the very least use its significant leverage to get the RSF to stop their atrocities?
I mean, the UAE needs to hear from its allies. The United States is in a defense pact with UAE. If Sudan matters to us, we need to use our relationship with that country to get it to stop. And so, I do agree this is a moment in time and an opportunity for this president and this White House to actually exert the full amount of its pressure and use that relationship. These relationships and these alliedships around the world only matter when your allies are doing something you don't like. You have to use those relationships.
Thank you. And so I guess just to be a little bit more specific, do you think it's appropriate for the U.S. to be selling weapons to the UAE right now while they continue to support the RSF?
My organization hasn't gotten to a definitive decision on that. There is speculation that while U.S. weapons have not been found in Darfur, that weapon sales to UAE is allowing them to displace their old stocks and send those weapons to Darfur. So I think we have to look very carefully at this in order to make sure that no U.S. weapons wind up hurting people in Sudan.
Thank you. And now I'd like to turn to the ICC. Earlier this year, Eric Iverson, a decorated U.S. Army veteran who is currently the lead prosecutor in the court's Darfur cases, filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration, arguing that the administration's sanctions against ICC prosecutor Karim Khan prevented him from investigating and prosecuting mass atrocities in Darfur. In response, the Treasury Department granted him a license for his work with the ICC, and Mr. Iverson withdrew his suit. But as you know, this license is specific to him and doesn't cover other U.S. citizens who work for the ICC prosecutor's office or contractors. We've seen reports that sanctions on Khan have substantially impeded ICC investigations. This is despite successive U.S. presidential administrations since the George W. Bush administration, including the Trump administration, expressing support for accountability for atrocity crimes in Darfur. Why are the ICC investigations into atrocity crimes in Darfur important? And could you tell us sort of your assessment of if alternatives exist to the ICC?
Sure. So an organization like mine that legally defines and documents these crimes really relies on institutions like the International Criminal Court to bring justice to the victims. The ICC currently has 11 active cases on Sudan. Its mandate was established in 2005, and it extends to now. There is no other entity. Their courts are not functioning inside Sudan. The African Union doesn't offer a viable alternative to the ICC for the crimes being committed in Sudan. There is no other entity that is going to have the chance to bring any justice to the grave and mass crimes in Sudan. And the other thing to note about the ICC is that even if there are carve-outs and things to allow for work in places and on cases that maybe the United States is fine with, these sanctions represent a chilling effect for anybody to work with the ICC. Banks, service providers, logistics providers, all these things that you just need to have an entity function. It really does chill its work on Ukraine, on Russia, on Sudan, on Central African Republic, and on Gaza. It's true. So while there's no other entity around, I think the most important thing is that we see 20 years of impunity lead to more mass atrocities. It's that simple.
And do you believe that the specific license for Mr. Iverson fixes the chilling problem and other impediments that these sanctions have on the Darfur investigation?
I'd like to take that question back to our international justice team because I don't know the ins and outs of what that license covers. I'm sorry to say.
No, that's fine. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.